Zandile Khumalo is resuming her testimony at the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial in Pretoria today. Khumalo is the sister of Meyiwa's girlfriend, Silindelo Khumalo. She's been detailing her version of events on the night that the football star was killed back in 2014. Khumalo was one of 6 people who were in the house at the time, and she's pointed out accused Bongani Ntanzi as one of the intruders that she says entered the house. Ntanzi and 4 others are on trial for the murder of the former Bafana captain. eNCA senior reporter Silindelo Masikane is following that story for us. Joining us now, of course, to preempt what's to come in court. Slee, a very warm good morning to you. Another day, another testimony by Zandile Khumalo.
So we are expecting, of course, the trial looking into the murder of Senzo Meyiwa back in October 2014 is set to resume following a number of postponements. And of course, we do know that we have a new witness in the witness box that is being led in their evidence in chief in terms of what they witnessed on the night Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed. That particular witness is, of course, Silindelo Khumalo's sister, Zandile Khumalo. She began in terms of telling the court what she knows about the relationship between Senzo and her sister, and of course she doesn't have a history with Meyiwa. Very quickly, in terms of her testimony, got into the details about what she knows and what she remembers about the night Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed. But before she began her testimony, I think you remember there was a lot of speculation around who was going to be the next witness, and when it was finally revealed, it seemed Zandile Khumalo wanted to testify under a certain number of conditions, including removing the media from the court. However, of course, that application being dismissed by Judge Chikua Mamela, saying that she can give testimony without cameras in her face, but that the cameras would remain, and that, of course, she would be expected to give her testimony with the assurance that, of course, her face would not be on television. But also, she was warned that she is not allowed to discuss this case as she's giving testimony. So far, what she has told the court is the timelines leading up to that tragedy on the 26th of October 2014. During her last sitting, she had already gone into details around efforts to try and save Meyiwa's life. He was rushed to hospital by Silindelo Khumalo, as well as Tumelo Madlala, Mthokozi Sitwala, as well as Zandile Khumalo. Unfortunately, they were told at the hospital that Meyiwa was, in essence, dead on arrival, and that is when some of his teammates who were at a party in Sandton began to arrive at the hospital. We understand Longwetwala's father, who at the time, Longwetwala's father, Chikotwala, also arrived. Longwetwala at the time was actually Zandile Khumalo's boyfriend. So that is where we are expecting, of course, to pick up in terms of testimony. She's already told the court that when they returned to the home, they found that it did have, police in the house already. There were, government officials who were introducing themselves, and at that point they had decided that they were going to go to Silindelo Khumalo's apartment for that evening. She's also told the court that she does recognize one of the 5 men accused who are in the dock. That is accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, and you would also remember that he was also pointed out in the dock by another witness, that is Tumelo Madlala. So this morning we are expecting court proceedings then to begin just after 10 a.m. We are hearing rumors around the fact that there is a possible postponement in the trial, meaning that it may not sit for this week. But of course, we will know more around whether we are continuing after 10 o'clock this morning, Tumelo.
Right. Slee, if I may just take you back to an exclusive conversation I understand you had with Zandile Khumalo, obviously before she appeared in court, particularly on Bongani Ntanzi. actually her identifying him in court. I mean, we've been seeing clips post their testimony, Slee, showing during that sit-down with you that at the time she couldn't identify, anyone, because I suppose they were wearing masks at the time. Also understanding that it's 8 years later, her memory didn't serve her well. Just perhaps take us back, to that sit-down conversation, given how now she can confidently point out who she identifies in court to have barged into the house in Vosloorus.
I think it's important to point out that, once you are in a courtroom, you're giving testimony, it's not as if you're sitting down with a journalist. You are expected to give evidence under oath. And I can't speak on her behalf in terms of perhaps why at the time she spoke to me, she said that she couldn't remember or she couldn't identify any of the accused. You'd remember at the time when the trial began, we were still in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we were all expected to wear masks inside court. So what she was saying to me was that the men in the dock at a majority of the time they're wearing masks, and so she hasn't been able to get a really good look at them. But since then, we have seen regulations being relaxed. People don't have to wear masks anymore, and perhaps she's seen images of him, and now she is able to positively identify him. But it was, of course, quite interesting to hear her testimony around Bongani Ntanzi, saying that she can confidently identify him, even having quite an emotional moment in court where she had an outburst, where proceedings had to be adjourned because she got quite emotional, speaking to the accused in the dock, saying that they had ruined their lives. And that they had no idea the impact that particular evening has had on them as a family. So I think people will be drawing a lot of comparisons between what she did say in previous media interviews as well as what she testifies to in court. But I think what we are all looking forward to is that what is then the opposition, the defense, going to then put to her in terms of the facts, because it does seem as though between herself, Mthokozi Sithwala and Dumelo Madlala, there are a number of inconsistencies that have already been picked up in terms of what they've testified to about what they observed and about how the murder transpired. They do insist that intruders came in, but let's not forget that there is a second docket in this matter, docket 375. That particular docket alleging that nobody entered the home and that someone in the house shot and killed Senzo Meyiwa.
We'll leave that for now, colleague, and as soon as, of course, we have confirmation as to whether those rumors are indeed true, that there might be a postponement looming for the trial this week, we'll, of course, come back to you for those details. eNCA senior reporter Silindelo Masikane, just outside Courtfront, where the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial was expected to commence at 10 o'clock this morning. We'll find out from Slee as soon as we have confirmation as to whether or not those court proceedings will still take place today.